Fortuna, spin your wheel upon us.
I decided I'm going to start watching Star Trek.
Imagine getting eliminated based off your dick.
Welcome to the medieval science of podcasting.
I think people should do jobs like fix computers dressed like you're doing other jobs. Like just do a job dressed like another job. Like I'm fixing the computer, but I'm dressed as a plumber.
Or like a chef.
Yeah, just a chef.
That would be the best job ever. If I could dress like a baker, like covered in flour every day and go around and do IT work, I think I could truly achieve peace.
I feel like most people in IT though would like take advantage of it and be dressing like Batman and the Flash.
Oh, given the choice, everyone in IT would dress like a 13-year-old anime black kid. Given no punishment whatsoever.
Yeah, there's zero chance they're not walking in
Graphic
with
button down, the coolest, like most oval sunglasses ever.
A medallion.
that. But somewhere they'll still have that Naruto band, that headband.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What do you guys ever run into elevator repair guys before?
Like in the elevator?
Only repairing elevators.
Yeah.
I've never been in a...
That is what I'm talking about.
No, but I've never talked to them.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying I met one at a bar.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I just observed them in the wild. Yeah.
Every time I've encountered an elevator repairman, it's been the darkest human presence I've ever experienced.
Okay.
They are... This is a sub culture, I guess, that needs to be explored, the elevator repair guys. They all look like they have like a lifelong injury on their head. They're all completely disheveled and like greasy. They're like, I'm sure there's going to be like a comment like, oh, actually, I'm a elevator repair guy and you're fucking gay. But let me counter that and say you're gay, dude. Well, if you haven't run into an elevator repair guy, just keep an eye out for one. And when you see one, go, whoa, that is a pretty fucked up guy.
Are they like bug men?
Yeah.
Like bug guys are kind of spooky.
Yeah.
By bug guys, do you mean like
exterminators? That
I was going to say Edgar from Men in Black. Yeah, they are actually hiding a gigantic roach inside of their body. Most elevator repair guys have a gigantic cockroach inside their body trying to escape. That's the one thing you guys don't know about them.
Man. I'm just the only one that I really remember was like almost, again, he could have been at the beginning of this journey, but he was almost the opposite of what you're describing. He had like a Johnny Bravo kind of like sculpted,
like cut. A greaser. He was a greaser.
He was honestly, I felt like he was more of like a hip IT guy than an elevator repair guy.
Well, I mean, don't forget there are guys like me. Okay,
yeah,
I was an IT guy.
Yeah,
but I wasn't a total IT guy. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, like
you ran into Tim Butterly of elevator repairmen.
That
guy sounds like he rules, Sid.
Oh, no, almost though. He was like the guy that tries to be cool. You know, like your coolness comes from the fact that you like don't try to be cool. Like, but the guy who's like, I'm gonna do hip shit.
That's the best thing you can hear about yourself, by the way. You need to tone it down, dude. You're gonna send me over the edge. You can't lift me up that high. I'm gonna hit my head on the ceiling fan. Chill. Thank you, though.
Yeah,
this guy does sound cool.
No, he seemed cool. He seemed like a cool guy. He was wearing a one of those tight, not a corset, but like a weight belt that for workers.
Oh, you made him sound less cool immediately. Yeah, he was wearing his deadlifting corset.
A corset and no shirt underneath. You know how elevator repairmen are.
He was wearing a leather vest. His chest was really hairy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're describing a pretty weird guy.
You know how elevator repairmen always like to spoon? It was one of those. Yeah, he was cool. He was a real cool guy.
They like to suck first.
Don't you think, guy, whenever you see a guy that's coming home from work on the bus and he's wearing his like warehouse worker weightlifting belt, aren't you like, damn, that's pretty cool?
That's a cool belt.
That's pretty. That guy must do a really strong job. You ever think that?
I always think how cool it would be to like add gun holsters to it.
Just gun holsters to a Amazon package, like an Amazon factory shit. Just gun holsters.
Yeah, like on their little weight vest,
but no guns.
I would say You know what I would say? I'd be wearing mine. I'd be like, yeah, mine already has gun holsters, and then I would point to the sleeves, and everyone on the bus would be like, wow, that's the man.
That is the man.
He's not even trying to be cool. In fact, I could be convinced he's doing the opposite of trying to be cool. Hold on, this seems to resemble failing at being cool. The more I look at it.
Yeah, man, that's like, I think that's the only envy that I have for other jobs' clothes.
What, weight belt?
Yeah, that weight belt thing is pretty sick. Or like a utility belt.
I get when dudes have open carry and you know they're not a cop.
Yeah.
And you're like, dude, what are you, like, how can you do that? Then I think about it, I'm like, I could easily just put a holster and a gun on, and like 9 out of 10 people.
You're the
wouldn't
sheriff of everywhere you go.
Yeah. I might have to like get closed-toe shoes or something.
Yeah.
If I dressed in like black or navy blue and carried a gun everywhere, not
No
one
questions.
person
Nah,
would question.
I wouldn't bat an eye.
Sandals cop. What is Sandals cop enforcing?
Yeah,
Beach rules?
beach tags, deadly force. Yeah, but
Checking
like
for
I've
beach
never,
tags and Wawa.
I've seen dudes with like open pistols, and I've never once questioned them. Like,
Nah.
oh shit, he's definitely doing.
As a matter of fact, they
Can
give
you
them a little- I give them a
citizen
little
check?
respect.
No, can you citizen check their, they need like a concealed carry certification, right?
No, you know what's nuts? Anyone's allowed to open carry. I'm not a lawyer. So don't quote me
Oh,
on
I have
this.
it backwards.
You need
Yeah.
a permit to carry a concealed weapon, but by law, you're allowed to openly carry a rifle or a handgun.
Doesn't it seem like it should be the opposite? Like if I have a secret gun, whose business is that? Right?
I think it's my business.
But
Yeah,
now,
yeah.
if it's on the outside, then we can talk about it, friend.
Yeah.
But if I'm concealing my gun, it's for a reason.
Oh, well, if you have it on the outside, no questions asked.
Yeah, it's
if
out
you have it
and
on the
about.
inside, now I don't know how I can talk shit to you.
Because that's
Yeah,
my
yeah.
business, dude.
It's not your business how I can talk shit to you.
No way.
It's our business.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's
Like,
Nunyuh.
You're gonna talk different to a person when you know they have a gun. You're gonna
Yeah, no way.
respect the gun.
What are you going to ask me about my penis next?
No, I'm not.
Because that's also Nunyuh.
I'm not gonna ask you because you have a gun.
No, hold on. What about that penis should be questionable? What should I be asking about that penis?
Exactly. That's where you should be on my hidden gun.
Yeah. Nah, I think we
Not up to you.
should. I think it's fair that we should know everybody who's carrying a gun and everyone who has a huge dick. We should know that at all times.
Now, I would
Whoa.
fuck you up if you
Yeah.
everyone that had a huge dick.
And every woman that's
Unless
had
you
a huge
open
dick.
carry your huge penis.
You would treat it's just
Yeah.
you don't want to know that.
I think I'd be okay with it.
Yeah, but then also like, what if you have a huge dick but it's just really small today? Do I still have to like it gets bigger? Like today, I'm having the smallest dick I've had in a long time.
It would have
I
to
think it's
be
because the weather dropped.
Yeah.
The
But then
cold-
people would just treat that like a mood. Like, hey, dude, are you okay?
Yeah.
Your dick's pretty small right now.
yeah, it's real small today.
Hey, man, why the small penis?
I think having a smaller penis, I'm way more tuned into like the nuances. You know, like when I have big days, I'm like, I'm having a big day.
Yeah, I'm just
I
having a
want
little
everybody to
dick
know
day.
about
Yeah.
this. Yeah.
I'll show my wife like, look, it's bigger than usual, right? And she'll be like, I guess.
You're glowing.
I hate when my wife
Yeah.
tells me my dick's perfect. I'm like, stop.
That's the wrong
Yeah,
description
she's
of
like,
a
oh,
dick.
it's perfect.
It's like you're not
Stop
trying.
it. That's
You're not
like
trying.
that's like, you know, our house is perfect. It's all we need.
Yeah.
And I believe her,
It's
too.
a real home sweet home vibe.
When my wife says
It's
perfect,
our dick.
It doesn't hurt.
Perfect bothers me.
perfect sucks because like I do believe her when she goes, it's perfect. What I really want to hear is like it's actually a slight challenge.
Yeah. Yeah. Perfect sounds like it almost hurts.
Yeah. Like if she leaves me and ends up with a guy and his dick stresses her out, I'm be like, damn, he wins.
Like I wish she would hit me with like rewarding. Your dick's challenging and rewarding.
With this fucked up big dick.
It's perfect.
Yeah,
because, like,
perfect.
Yeah.
No, man.
It's worth the risk.
Yeah.
and like I can hop on it and I know nothing bad will ever happen. I can get right back to doing what I was doing.
Your penis is like a rental
You're
bike.
spent. Yeah.
If I ever wanted to try anal, I'd think about it still. Like, we could give it a shot.
A shot. It doesn't
Yeah.
hurt that much.
Yeah. Like she doesn't feel threatened enough by your penis to even question anal.
Yeah.
That stinks.
She's actually questioning why you've never questioned anal.
That
It's
would
like,
be.
why don't you ever try to put that in my ass?
That would be
It'll
funny.
fit.
Like being 20 years into your marriage and still worrying about the size of your dick for your
Yeah.
wife. That's nuts. That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That would be nuts. You've been married 20 years?
I'm coming up on 14.
Damn, I'm coming up on 7, so I still think about it constantly.
Yeah. You're in those early years, man.
Yeah, we're like-
you're in the fucking small
I'm
dick
still
trenches.
measuring it with a tape. I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck.
How long
Yeah.
we all?
You're doing a lot of like thumb to middle finger tip.
I'm like comparing items against it. Like it's bigger than an iPhone. Not bigger than an iPhone X.
You're taking like extra hot showers just to swang a little lower when you get out.
Yeah, how long were y'all with y'all ladies before y'all got married? I'm asking because I'm at that point where I should.
You're
be
thinking about
proposing.
marriage?
I should be proposing more than I'm thinking about marriage.
Nah, you're
I just-
black. You got more time.
Yeah, that's yo. I'm about to go by the Sid model.
Yeah, go by the Sid model.
Just say
Explain
it.
that to her.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not married.
I went
no.
8 months.
Yeah, Sid's not married. Whoa.
Yeah.
You're not married?
Nah, you got to move to a common law state.
Whoa.
Yeah.
How long you been with your chick?
It's going on 8 years.
Oh, yeah, you might as well.
You have any kids?
Yeah.
No kids though.
Oh, you're good. I got married at the 8-month mark. And then I had a kid within a year and a half.
That's crazy.
And how long you been together?
We were together for 8 months when we got married.
But how long have you been together total again?
7.
7? Okay.
But I get the sense that you were trying to like you were super focused on like building a life, you know?
Yeah.
Like you can fast track a family if you're focused on it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just trying to prove my heterosexuality.
For sure.
I got called gay on Reddit, and
everyone
I
kept
needed a
making fun of me.
photograph.
I was like, fuck, I have to have a kid so I can completely not.
That's the only way. That's the only way to fully prove it.
We started dating, and I was immediately like, this is going to be at least a 2-year relationship. Like, I knew right away.
Yeah.
So I was like, let's just get married now, do all that up front. So, like, when the fighting starts, we're not going to, like, go break up and, like, fuck other people, then get back together.
Ooh,
you know, it was kind of
okay.
like,
That
let's
sounds like a man who
solidify
knows
this now.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then just we'll hit the ground running. So it was cool because then by the time we had our first like blowout fight, we both were like, we're not going to get divorced.
Yeah.
But if we had been dating, it probably would have been like a 3-week cool off.
Yeah, that stinks.
So
Yeah.
I'm happy for you guys. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
in conclusion, Nate, yeah, you actually when you ever see like a married gay guy come out and he's got children with his wife,
yeah.
those guys aren't really gay. When I see a guy has
They're just trying to have
procreated,
fun.
when I see that a guy has procreated and formed a child, I know in my heart he's not gay. And when they're like, actually, I'm a homosexual, I'm like, yeah, right. You wish.
Yeah. They're just trying to be
I'm
cool.
always like hats off to those dudes.
Yeah.
Like they got to do like everything. It's just another experience. So it's like you got to be a married dude, have kids. Now you get to be a gay dude and bang dudes and be married to a dude. Like you're doing
That is
everything
cool.
Get monkey
in
pox.
You got one life and you've done everything.
He hit the whole buffet. He went back for
And I
seconds.
feel like he's probably a real good grandfather for advice because he could have like gay grandkids, straight gay kids.
He's
and
got
he'd be like,
everything covered.
I've got all of you covered. Like
Yeah.
I can explain relationships.
if he's also mixed race,
yeah,
that's the
That's
ultimate person. A guy that has a family with a wife and children and then destroys it all so that he can have gay sex until he dies. Those are the most powerful creatures on the planet.
or maybe they told their wife from the gate, like, dude, I'll marry you, I'll have a couple kids, but I'm gonna split when I'm like 40, and she's like, I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
care.
starting the clock right now, and then I am gay.
I'm gonna pop off at 40.
They're just in the middle of watching a movie. The alarm goes off.
He's like, oh, gotta go,
Gotta go.
Wow, it's been fun. See you later.
gotta roll.
It's been great building a life with you, but I need to get bottomed out.
Yeah, they achieve like that perfect yin-yang balance where like each of those dots are buttholes. Like on the
A white
like on the-
butthole and a black
yeah, white
butthole.
butthole and a black-
Yeah.
They got both buttholes.
Yeah.
Nice.
Did you see the guy? Did you guys see that the wrestler Virgil said he's had sex with 1 million women?
Yeah, I actually did see that.
Well, that's nuts.
How is that even possible mathematically?
Well, if you do 5 comic book conventions every day for 40 years, you probably run into 1 million women.
And if you banged 1 million women, you'd have to like, he's probably double counting like 100,000.
Yeah, because that's my problem when people say that. You're not counting. No
when
one
you, like when you
counted
flip
to 1
money
million.
and you hold it.
Yeah, you count your 20s twice. Yeah.
So wait, you think he's fudging the numbers?
I
Oh,
think
he's
he banged a
definitely
lot of
cooking the
chicks,
books.
and he just says
What?
1 million.
He's cooking the books. This
Well,
guy,
I hadn't considered that.
I'm willing to bet this guy has no concept of what a million
He
people
can't even count.
A million?
Yeah.
A
It's
million
been like
people.
6.
Yeah, a guy that was a minor WCW character and
if-
has been like going to convention booths every day for the past 20
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe he struggles with math in some ways.
Or maybe the $1 million man, like I wait to see his number. He probably fucked infinity chicks. His article's coming up next week. I had sex with infinity.
Yeah, imagine if you were actually a cool wrestler.
Yeah.
Macho,
Wasn't Virgil
Macho
just helping
Man.
him out?
I mean, just imagine the baboon fucking that Macho Man did.
The sounds he made.
I didn't
God
read Virgil's
damn.
article either. I felt bad. I just read his headline.
I just read the headline, dude. I'm not reading that shit.
Virgil,
I'm not gonna read about a guy pussy bragging.
Yeah.
I actually felt bad even knowing the number. I was like, all right, man, this is I'm gay now.
Yeah. Fuck him for making you gay.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, man. Yo, I was wondering this the other day, especially with your new jump into organic chemistry, right?
Oh wow.
So
forgot about
yeah,
that.
when we left last week, I got deeper because I was like, man, I gotta find out some things I've always wanted to know. Now that I know you're an organic chemist, right?
In training,
citizen scientist, organic chemist, right? So
You need to know more about Tom or about stuff?
just stuff. I was like, I want to know more about this.
Well, Tom that could count as stuff too. So
Exactly.
It doesn't eliminate
He
him.
kind of like wet my whistle for stuff, you know. So I was like, let me find this out. So I always wondered, like, what the fuck happens to the electrolytes that you sweat out? Like, are they destroyed, or could you like?
No, pigeons
Could you
absorb them
reuse
off of the
those?
ground.
I don't know.
Do you know
The
what I mean?
local wildlife like sucks it out of the concrete, I think.
No, but when it's just still on your skin as sweat,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, could you lick your sweat and reabsorb
And recycle it,
electrolytes? Right. So do you?
or are they spent? I don't know.
No, but
Yeah.
see, but then you got to find out what the fuck electrolytes are, right?
That's what plants need.
It is the thing they crave, for sure. For sure. But did you know that electrolytes weren't just a thing? They're not like this is electrolytes. Electrolytes are a grouping of things that help the body transmit, like help the muscles communicate electricity or to fire and shit.
Okay.
So like sodium is an electrolyte. Potassium is an electrolyte.
So they're like minerals.
Basically.
Okay. This is new information.
I'm gonna
Thank
go in
you.
there so dumb. I don't know anything.
So here's the deal. So here's,
What is potassium?
That's what. Have y'all ever heard the thing
Potassium
about?
is a part of a banana, right?
yeah. So it's like
They're gonna get so mad
Like
at
you
me.
naturally have bananas in your body, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we sweat out bananas.
When's your first day of school?
August 28th. Well, what's going to be nuts is like there's going to be a bunch of kids in there that are forced to do this for like some dumb job.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be like the random 40-year-old that's like, yes, I have a question.
Yeah,
And like, he'll be like, okay, we'll be out of here in 5 minutes. Any more questions? I'm like, I have 45 minutes of questions.
yeah.
'Cause I remember when I went to college, there'd be like random 40-year-olds in the classroom, and we would just look at them like they were freaks.
Yeah,
They are.
They were. They're freaks. They are for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
They're you.
Yeah, they're me.
freaks.
Do you think
They're
you'll-
They're Matt, who
Yeah.
also went back to school.
Matt went back to school.
Yeah.
Or do you think you'll party with your classmates at community college at all?
I'm going to be looking for study buddies right off the bat.
Oh, you got it.
I'm going to be looking around and be like, are any of you,
The next study buddies only.
are you guys like, why are you here?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm getting a job with like GlaxoSmithKline. I'm like, okay, never mind.
Yes,
One guy will be
literally.
like, I love Arrowwood. I'll be like, my friend.
I don't know if you're going to encounter a single other guy.
I'm going to get an Arrowwood t-shirt. Like, there has to be Arrowwood t-shirts.
Arrowwood merch?
Yeah.
Wear it to class to see if anyone like daps me. I was like, dude.
I'm sorry for my ignorance, but what is Arrowwood?
I'm glad you asked. I didn't want.
Yeah, I was. Well, Nate, I saw you looking confused.
Arrowwood's like,
It's like a forum for drug
It's a
users.
forum from like the early
Experimental drug
2000s,
users.
late 90s, where people would like take like different drugs or whatever and then write reports.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a Yelp for drugs.
And this is where the swim.
This is where all that shit comes
Yeah,
from. It's
gotcha.
so funny. Like people go on there and they'll be like,
Nate, do you know what swim
Yo,
is? We're not
okay.
talking swimming.
Oh,
like,
God.
I'm confusing
No,
the
yeah.
black man in the team.
I don't know what swim is, but I think from context clues, it's like a new place you talk about drugs.
it's no. So whenever people back in the early 2000s, they were like super paranoid and they would go on these forums, but they would never say, I did this. They would say swim took 200 micrograms of LSD because it stood for someone who isn't me.
Yeah.
Because they thought somehow they were freeing themselves of self.
Yeah, or like when a
Incrimination.
person's like, "Are you a cop? You got to tell me."
Yeah, it's like that old thing. It's like cops have to tell you they're
They
cops.
have to tell you.
Yo, so one time my uncle had me fix a laptop for him, and it contained a CD-ROM that I inserted into a computer. I wasn't all willy-nilly about this. I knew that this could have some questionable material on it.
He was a dirty uncle.
So I pop up the CD-ROM, and on it, the only contents are like a site rip of a forum. I can't remember what it was called. It might have had the word Babylon in it, and it might have been yellow. But it was a forum where dudes were sharing the methods for like making crystal meth and shit like that. And he just had,
Sick.
So he had a folder
Was
on
it
a
Baby
CD.
Bees?
What was it?
Baby Bees?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was Baby Bees. he had an archive of an entire message board where dudes were just like, no, dude, that's not how you make LSD. This is how you make
Yeah,
LSD.
Baby Bees is like an online clandestine lab, like
Yeah.
It's baby bees.
Yeah. I have a sight rip of baby bees somewhere on a CD in my
Was he a
basement.
meth head?
Yeah, he's a pretty fucked up guy.
He can't be that fucked up if he's making his own meth. Like, you gotta have some
I don't know that he ever
common
actually
Well,
went
you
through
gotta
with it. Maybe
start.
he did though.
sense. Yeah, he probably got real tweaked and was like, I'm gonna make this shit.
He had he had the widest above ground pool I ever saw as a child.
Damn.
I think he was a dealer. I think he sold meth. And
pretty dope.
yeah, he had
That's kinda
a really dope white trash backyard where I stepped on a rusty nail under his deck one time, and there was like a broken down car and a broken down boat and just a big beautiful above ground pool.
Big,
Where is he
rusty
now?
nail.
Where's he now? Southwest Philly, I believe.
That's like, so, I thought you were gonna, like, when you said you pulled out a CD-ROM, I thought you were about to tell me a dirty uncle story. Like,
I'm not. No,
like you don't
dude.
talk to him anymore
If-
because what
so-
was on it? Like,
In my mind, the protocol for finding someone else's child porn is that you have to go, like, you can't even like stop for like nachos on the way to the FBI. You have to
Yeah.
go straight to
immediate.
Yeah.
If you dilly dally at all, they're gonna go, all right, buddy.
Yeah.
What's going on with you?
Yeah, like it's like when you find a dead celebrity and you call someone else first. Like when Keith Ledger died and like
Yeah.
the Olsons called each other, then they called John Stamos.
Yeah. They're like, really, you went to CVS for a prescription on the way to tell us about the porn CD-ROM, the child porn. Okay.
Stop this.
Yeah, if you find child porn,
You,
it's over.
you said you had an emergency trip to the photo lab at CVS.
You
All
have,
right.
to, you have to start snitching if you find child porn. It's on.
You have to be out of breath on the phone.
Yeah.
with the FBI.
You have to go on FaceTime Live or on fucking Instagram Live
Yeah,
and just
out
start
the
telling
pedophile.
people. Yeah.
Divorce yourself from them.
Yeah, that was like the greatest fear in my IT career. It was like when so you would identify like a real dirt guy.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, clearing out viruses on his shit. You'd be closing browser tabs that you're like, I wish I never saw this. Your greatest fear is that you were going to be the guy that stumbled upon like an image of them like abusing a child.
Yeah.
And you like just the months of paperwork.
What was
you'd
the
have to
worst
go
thing you
through.
ever saw?
There was a guy who, I almost just said his name, but there was a guy who would call us for very, very trivial problems. And he was an attorney, so he could afford to have like our junior guys come
Yeah.
and just fix bullshit for him all the time.
Like he clicked on like local horny wives too many.
Yeah. And it would just be like, oh, whoops. And what he was actually doing was, I think is it chicken hawking? He was trying to poach a young boy. Oh. So he was getting 20-year-old
And they call that
IT boys.
chicken hawking?
Something like that. There's a word for.
Oh, so he was just trying to get you guys in
he
his
was trying to get us in his office, and then you'd accidentally see like photo, like, oh, sorry, I left that open. You can close that, and it'd be like a picture of like a white dude sucking his dick. Oh, sorry about that. And it would be him making eye contact with like a disposable camera photo that he had to scan into a computer. Him making eye contact while sucking like a brownish dick, and he'd be like, "Oh, sorry about that."
Did he ever get sucked?
I did not.
Imagine doing that and not getting sucked every time, and then being like, I'm going to try with a better picture.
You got to kill yourself.
He was committed to improvement.
Yeah.
Are you guys looking up something chicken hockey?
Yeah. Man,
I saw you guys start
I
typing.
I stumbled upon my uncle's like real life open browser tab one time. So he was so the way my house was set up when I was living with my grandma.
It's like looking at an eclipse, dude. You're like, no.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's,
you're like,
it's
no.
even worse than that. So he was out of jail. So he was living at his mom's house, who was my grandmom, and I was living at my grandmom's house because like shit went bad for my mom.
Okay,
Like,
yeah.
shit like right. And so there were a bunch of people that were living in the house around the same age because our parents were all fuck ups. And then he lived there. He was on the bottom bunk in a room where there was a kid on the top bunk. There were bunk beds to his left with a kid and a kid, and there was a bed behind him with a kid.
This is a barracks you're describing.
Yeah. And he was like on the bottom bunk, right? And then on the bottom of the top bunk, he had taped all his like
His posters.
hardcore, like pages of like hardcore porn.
Had he ever been to prison before?
Yeah, he was out of prison. That's why he was living there.
Okay.
And then,
But he was
So-
still holding down like prison
That's
life.
the same thing. Yeah.
for sure. And he's also
He was beating the fuck out of the kids in the room with him.
dude, he was crazy. So one of the big family secret about him is that he's retarded. He's a
big family secret is that he's retarded.
it is right.
What,
'Cause
they
he's
just
a-
never told him?
They never told him.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't know.
Well, he could disappear if they tell him.
Dude.
That, I do think that there are some retarded people where if they find out they're retarded, it creates a paradox.
I mean, he would never. I don't think it would be possible for him to. Even if,
or they can't understand what retarded means.
yeah, he
like
couldn't.
they have a blindness.
He
to
thinks he's so
what
fucking.
retarded
He
is.
thinks he is the epitome of what it means to be gangster. Like he thinks he is thug.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh,
But
yeah.
he just doesn't realize
there's
like
Yeah.
he's retarded.
I was just rapping at the
Yeah.
Chinese food store and everyone was clapping and shit. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, they were fucking with you.
Yeah. Do you know that you're
Yeah.
diagnosed mongoloid? Did you know that?
and like no one was like, dude, stop putting porn on the bunks.
Dude, it was hard. Like it was hard. It's like so we talked.
Would you please stop hanging a bed sheet and jerking off in the bottom bunk?
Yeah, it was hard to talk to him, man. So in the next room over, my aunt with her son lived in that room. So my aunt was in her 30s. They were both in their 30s, and they hated each other. Like she was constantly shitting on him for having to live back in mom's house in the bottom bunk. He's constantly shitting on her for raising a child in the mom's house, like sharing a bedroom with her son who had a race car bed.
And she's not even retarded.
yeah.
She's spectrumy.
Oh.
But she's
This
like,
sounds like a battle for the ages.
yes, but she's like, she's always in the center of all the gossip. She's like a hub. She's like a hub on the slick road for women.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Okay.
she's like, she
Yes.
keeps herself engaged through busybodiness.
Yeah.
Right?
I almost want you to deliver the rest of this story as though it was being rapped by Common.
I think my uncle would be offended if it wasn't by Sticky Fingers from the Onyx.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. So they constantly were battling each other, and they were starting to fight back and forth. So she started sleeping with a knife under her pillow.
Damn.
Because that's how tense the arguing was. And so one day we were all downstairs, and so there were no hallways in this house. So in order to go from one room to the steps, you had to go through all the rooms, right? So in order for him to leave his room, he had to walk through her room and go downstairs. But she never had any business in his room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like she had no business going
Yeah,
beyond
you wouldn't
that
go
barrier.
back further.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Dude, I wish someone here played video games, but like maybe it's the Changa, but I'm just imagining Black Metal Gear Solid. I promise. You play video games and you imagine Black Metal Gear Solid happening in a house.
No, that's
It's
perfect.
great.
yeah. All right, so
Just putting a box over your body.
Exclamation
by the
points
door.
appearing over people's heads.
yeah.
Leaving porn on the walls to distract somebody.
Like just belly crawling through 5 bedrooms.
And how much older was he than you?
Jamal!
I think
Yeah, Nate.
he's older than her. Like,
His mom?
no, he's older than my aunt, like his sister. So he's like, they're all in their 30s at
Okay,
the
okay.
time.
So he's got
I'm like,
cousin seniority.
Yeah, at the time I'm like 14, 15.
Okay,
You
okay.
know? And they're in their like 30s to mid 30s, right? And so he went upstairs, and she was standing in the middle of the other room, and so you could hear like her footsteps leaving the room, him going into the room. She goes in her bed, and all of a sudden, his fuddy footsteps come back into her room, and you hear this, and then he comes running down the steps. And then she comes running, because she always, listen, even though the house was set up the way it was, this is the kind of person she was. She slept naked. In that, I had to go past, every time I went past that room, I saw this woman
So your naked aunt.
every fucking day. There was never, every day that I lived in that house, I saw that mid 30-year-old woman.
Dude,
ass
nothing
naked.
about your childhood makes any sense.
Dude, it's fucking insane. This house was insane.
Quick question for both of you. How old do you have to be before your kids stop seeing you naked?
I mean, I was a teenager. Her kid was like,
But I'm saying for you
Yeah.
personally, like when did you stop being naked in front of your kids? Or do you still do it?
When my girls were like 3-ish, 4.
Okay.
And then my son, it's like, if we're in a situation where we're changing together because we're like, you know, in like a,
I'm just talking about being naked, like
I mean, I don't think my son has seen me naked in a while, but I wouldn't care.
yeah, because I sleep naked.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like my wife would be like, "Go get the kids," and like they're 4 and 2. It's like my son now. I'm like, I don't want to go get you naked, so I'll put some shorts on, and I'm like, at what point can I like? Because I haven't seen my dad naked since probably 1985. So at one point he consciously was like, all right, I'm not going to be naked in front of you.
Yeah, I think my dad stopped being naked around me the time that I got eye level with his naked penis.
Yeah,
I know I felt it in my dad go, okay, this is the last time ever.
It feels weird when your son is eye level with your penis.
Yeah.
Also, too, it's like he's also developing a sense of like, that's kind of rude. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Your
he's
dick
like,
by my
put
head.
your dick
What's
away.
going on,
Come
Dad?
Yeah, it might have been more out of that than anything else.
It's like, you trying to big brother me right now, Dad?
It's like, hey, sorry, yeah, excuse my penis.
Yeah. So
All right, so anyway, your story. I just wanted to,
so-
while you're on the subject of naked adults.
yeah, no, she was naked way too. She shouldn't have been naked.
Yeah,
There's
What
no
was she
fucking
doing?
way.
Was she like laying on her side in like an open?
Oh,
No, she was
Cleopatra
completely
slide?
naked,
No,
yeah.
because listen, she was a 30-year-old
was
woman
she doing,
living
like,
with her
pull-ups on,
mom
like, a
still,
door frame
so she
thing?
can go out all the time. So this woman went out every night of the fucking week, basically. So every day you saw her sleeping, she was like hungover sleep, like disgusting body, like blobbed all over. Sometimes a leg hanging off the bed.
Yeah, just like a random
it was
titty. You didn't know where it
the
belonged.
worst.
man.
It's the worst. And then you're just like, what do I? So now you gotta determine how you walk through this room, because you're gonna let her bully you with her nakedness so that you're walking through the room like only looking one direction, and you got to turn a corner around a dresser and shit to go down the steps.
Yeah.
It's difficult. It's like, dude, it was a constant fucking dilemma.
Dan was like, yo, put a fucking robe on.
You,
Or it just wasn't like
you
that.
can't talk. You can't say
Yeah.
anything rational to people like this.
Yeah, it's true.
You know what I mean?
But did you try?
I honestly, yes.
Okay.
But not in those words. But I did mention that, like,
I did scream robe while running past the door.
Yeah. It was like, listen, I'm getting too old to be seeing you naked like this.
Yeah.
Like I had to, like, to me that was just cutting straight to the listen.
Yeah.
I shouldn't be seeing you naked. I have a boner most of the time.
She ever bring a man back?
Oh no,
Never.
never. I mean, but also I
She's
think
probably embarrassed about living in a quarter-way house.
I think she was also like hard to deal with. I don't think she did.
Oh, you think she was striking out?
Kinda, yeah. Because she's like, dude, her station, her value was more valuable in that gossip world than it was in the world of like dating a man of any kind of stability.
She was stuck in bitch world. Couldn't go
For
over
sure.
to dick world.
She couldn't do it.
That's
she couldn't
a
do
shame.
it.
That's a lady incel.
Basically,
Femcel.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a femcel.
yeah. So he punched the shit out of her on his way out of the room. Like he didn't smack her. We heard it smack, but he punched the shit out of her. She had a big black eye and everything. He comes running down the steps, out the door. Here she comes naked behind him with a big ass steak knife. And I had to grab her because this motherfucker knew she had a knife and he ran outside because he didn't want to fight her in close quarters while she had a
dude,
knife.
That's CQC, man.
So he ran outside and squared up. It's like
He punched her in the most retarded way. Like, you leave a fight and you're like, no, what? I'm going back in there, soccer, and then run.
This would be an iconic cutscene in Black Metal Gear Solid.
yeah. So then they like, that was a whole big thing. They didn't end up fighting, right? And this story is to illustrate how retarded this man is, right? Because this story isn't over. He leaves because we stopped that from happening. He leaves just fucking people up all day.
He goes on a rampage.
He goes on a rampage.
Cool.
Ends up getting stabbed.
Is he dead?
Oh, how ironic.
Yeah, no, he just came home bleeding all fucked up.
Oh.
And now like where there was like mortal enemies in the house, like now like everybody's like kind of like trying to like keep him out of the house because he was trying to bleed inside. He was trying to come in the
trying to
house.
bleed out.
It's like first of all we're trying to keep him outside, but we called him Greek.
You
And,
said
like,
black
Yeah,
rampage.
you know how?
Yeah,
He's just jumping video games now.
that's what retarded people do all day long. They just jump video
Just play a
games
new
all
one.
day long.
Punching holes in buildings, eating people.
You ever see like a injured pigeon? You're like, ew, I'm not gonna touch that. It's got diseases. Sometimes I wonder if I would deal with like a human that way too.
Dude, him for sure.
That's what you guys are doing. You're like pushing him outside with a broom.
Yeah, like I said, you're spilling retardedness all over the
Put a
porch.
cardboard box over him.
Dude, we're gonna have to tell him he's retarded. We're gonna have to tell him. But no, he's big. He's like a big, strong, he's retarded strong.
Yeah, he's Black Wreck-It Ralph. I'm the worst podcaster in the world.
Yeah. So then, so that was. I mean, that's pretty much the end of the story. We got him. We kept him out of the house. We made him go to a hospital. He didn't want to go to a hospital because thugs don't go to a hospital. And
that seemed like a
true,
convenient. Yeah, if you guys were just like, well, if you say so, it would be a convenient way to get rid of him.
So is he still gangster to this day?
I don't know, man. I think he's dealing with a lot of legal problems from all the statutory rape he was involved in.
That'll shut you down. He's like Chael's then.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah,
Can't
Was he
read.
like early
Can't read.
90s gangster? He never evolved past that?
Yeah. No, he found his groove and stayed in it.
Damn,
Like,
he's
that
like
was his
Disco
shit.
Stew, but for gangster. That's sweet.
Yeah,
Is he
like
still carrying-
Onyx was his vibe. Like Slam is his mantra.
So he's carrying around Sprite commercial energy everywhere
Yeah.
he goes.
Yeah,
Onyx.
I think we talked about him.
I never got past Slam.
Yeah, that's all they really had.
Yeah, I never really got too deep
Yeah.
into Onyx's catalog.
Oh, they have one.
Do they?
Yeah, he
They
was a
probably
fucking
do.
big Sticky Fingers fan. He loved. Yeah,
Sticky Fingers
everything.
was the
Sticky
rapper
Fingers
from
does.
Onyx, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I kind of remember
Yeah.
this.
So he, I think I talked about this like on the primordial Stoner Dadz. But every room had a TV and a video game. Every room in this house had a TV and a TV for video games.
Whoa.
Damn.
Right? So you can, like nobody got their fucking show.
We had that for like 6 months one time. We had a second TV downstairs.
Yeah.
And I got to hook my Super Nintendo up to it, and I think it was very unpopular with my family.
Yeah, we didn't have that in the living room. It was just the TV. But everybody's room had a TV and a separate TV, like a TV with cable and a separate TV for a video game.
You guys could have had a pro gamer house first.
Yeah.
Dude, I mean, we got pretty sick of some games.
You guys could have invented esports.
What year are we talking?
Like 90, 91, 2, 3, 4.
Oh, so you're playing like NES, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis.
Yeah. We had, and every room had at least 2 different gaming consoles. At least, like the Super Nintendo and the Sega. And then like every now and again, somebody would let us borrow a Dreamcast, or like we always had like the sick games because we all lived with our grandmom and our parents were sending money for us to be raised.
Oh my God.
So we would just buy sick video games and we would trade video games for like a group of video games for like a console. For
I
a
think
month.
Genesis
Yeah.
was the peak of video games.
Why do you think that?
It just was my favorite. Like 3 buttons was enough for me, and the side scroll. Like I fell off after Genesis.
Dude,
You gotta play Last of Us.
Yeah, we once borrowed a Saturn.
Ooh, I traded a copy of Resident Evil 2 for a Saturn.
Dude, Saturns are
That's my
sick.
that's my ultimate come up, dude.
What
Yeah,
was
I got
Saturn?
Dude,
that
it
was the
sickest
Sega.
graphics.
That was a couple Segas after the Genesis.
Was it the end of Sega?
No, the Dreamcast was the end of Sega.
Oh,
But my problem with the Genesis was all the bass sounded so farty in every song. All the bass lines and I'm a huge
Yeah, but, like,
autist for video game music.
what's it called? Like sports games on Genesis were my top shit. Like
Yeah.
Madden '94.
I guess they
like-
did have the edge there.
They just were like because now it's too complicated. Now someone hands me a controller
And the
like,
sports games were like double the height with that yellow tab on the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I'm controlling too
I-
many of the people's parts in video games now.
Now, yeah, it's like hit the bumper, This was
Yeah.
like
Oh, more.
you throw it up and it's like A, B, C or 3 plans. You
Yeah.
pass to this dude. Like it was fucking.
Yeah, I like back when like Mortal Kombat was high punch, low punch.
Yeah.
I don't need left hand, right hand bullshit.
still kind of
Get
is.
out of here.
I'll
Right?
still fuck with Mortal Kombat on a high, whatever.
It's the only game I know.
It's the only game I have.
At this
That-
point now.
Yeah, it's all. I can't play first person games because I get motion sickness.
Yeah,
Like Doom type stuff makes me barf.
dude, I was trying to talk about a first person game when I was doing rap the other day, and nobody would really come with me on it.
What game?
But it's basically it's the Holocaust, right?
I'm listening.
So you are trying to do a Holocaust. So you're trying to convince you got to gather troops, you got to do all the stuff you have to do, and you have to reach.
Is the point of this game to be an accurate recreation to show how hard it would be to get to 6 million?
basically? Yeah, that's basically what it is. You got to get to
Mel
6 million.
Gibson's The Holocaust.
Yes, before the U.S. troops stop you. You got
So are you like from scratch writing hate pamphlets and stuff?
yeah. So you got to do you got to build charm points and get people to agree with you. You know,
But are you making
It'd
up?
be so
like-
sick to open loot crates that have new costumes for your prisoners.
Are you like coming up with ideologies and AIs assessing them for like?
Yeah, I mean, like you do little missions to determine whether or not you get enough charisma points to gather more troops.
Okay.
And then you have to make your way up through the political ranks, and then you gotta get your armies to agree with you, and then the strikes and shit.
Why does this have to be first person though? This seems more like I want to be looking at a big map and like some notes and
okay,
stuff.
that's what I thought. I'm an idiot about games.
You want an
That's what I
RPG.
thought.
Yeah,
That's what
I mean,
it
if this
is,
was first
RPG.
person and you were just like a guy walking to different meetings and then like delivering speeches, that might be interesting as well.
Yeah.
If you were one guy in first person trying to start the Holocaust, there would have to be some interesting game mechanics in place.
Yeah. Well, there would also have to be like side missions too, with like all
The last level, it's the first time you get to use a gun and it's you shooting yourself in the head.
Man, nobody would touch this on rap. This is crazy.
No, I love video games, so I will touch this.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was thinking the whole entire time. Was man, I wish Butter.
I wish Tim was here. You know.
God.
Just try to get funding.
Oh yeah. So by the way, real quick. So
Let's make this Holocaust game happen.
with this electrolyte thing.
The Blaze game works.
So with this electrolyte thing that I stumbled on, right? I was like, okay, so again, electrolytes are sodium and potassium and shit. They're not just like a thing that is electrolyte. Right?
Yeah.
So I was like, well, then if that's the case, like sodium doesn't get destroyed when it sweats out of your body. It's just still sodium.
So you could relick it.
So I start Googling, like, can you re-drink your sweat for hydration? You can't find any information on it at all. Like, you can't find science on
burying
it
it.
one
Like, no
way
one's
or the
thought
other.
about
Dude,
it.
try it. Next time you're in like a
Yeah.
competitive fight, lick your opponent's leg.
Oh man, if you stole all of his sweat and moisture and dehydrated him in the cage,
If you like got someone in like a triangle lock,
Suck it on somebody's
an
neck.
HKO.
start sucking their neck, but not like not erotically.
Just licking them dry.
Just like
lick them
licking
dry.
up their sweat, taking their power. You might
That
be
would
next level.
Yeah, that might be.
That'd be the new fight game. Like,
Yeah.
remember when like very low leg kicks came out, and that was like everyone was trying to throw those because it paralyzes your leg. The new thing's going to be consuming both yours and your opponent's
Yeah.
sweat. So there's just going to be two dudes putting their
Dude,
mouths
if
on
I
each
was in
other.
a fight with a guy and he got me in some kind of headlock and I was like trying to get out of it, then he like licked right here
Yeah.
on my neck. I
Yeah.
for a second would drop my guard and be like, "Ooh."
Not me. I'd be like, that's mine. And then I would be like, that's also
Yeah.
kind of gay.
Man, the fight game would change so much because like now you'll have people with like thick, broad tongues that are like the champions.
I'm just thinking, if,
Yeah, some race has like a proclivity for thick tongues.
what if you heterosexually brought erogenous zones into your fight game? So like you're in the middle and you give him just like a little ball tickle, and then that
ooh.
drops his guard for
Or
a
like
second.
an inner thigh tickle, like a high inner thigh.
Ooh, you could do like an ooh baby,
You put a little bit of pressure on his moles pubis.
and then you hit him with the haymaker.
Yeah.
You just drop his guard for a second, where he doesn't even know who did it to him.
Well, that's why it already looks really gay, is because that's how much they've figured out. They're still discovering new gay shit to do in fighting.
Yeah, to the point where they just
So
start
to the
having sex.
layperson, it all looks gay, but to the trained eye, you're like, this could be gayer.
Well, they say Greco-Roman wrestling used to end with a butt fuck. Is that true?
I believe it is.
Like that's what pinning was originally in Greece.
that was the Greco part.
yeah. Like you didn't just put him on the mat and count to three.
Did you have to
popped in.
penetrate him to win, or did you win and were rewarded with
If you caught one in the
penetrating
bum, you lost.
him? Yeah. That's free pegs,
Yeah.
basically.
You just got popped in the butt. It's like you were trying to get the other person and pop him in the butt.
Yeah,
That's
that'd
why
be
when
so
they start,
terrifying.
Dude, imagine winning and the crowd's cheering, and you're like, welp.
you're like, "Yep, I'm still
Assume the
in there."
position, dude. You win some, you lose some, bro. Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. Cheeks
like-
up now.
That last second where you're like, no, you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
It's like gets you in the butt.
Buzzer.
That's how you keep the crowd from leaving during a shutout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like when
yeah.
a dude's getting shut
Don't
out
go
so
to the
badly,
bathroom.
yeah.
I'm gonna fuck this guy.
It's like-
Yeah. Are you not entertained?
yeah. So yeah, they're basically suppressing that information.
Yeah.
They won't like Big Gatorade. I think it's Gatorade. It's for sure Gatorade. Because you shouldn't be able to just generally replenish electrolytes. Like everybody has their own like
Their own
collection.
balance?
Yeah, their own balance. So
Yeah.
it's like Gatorade can't possibly work.
This is the
should
first
get into
step to
this
designing the still suit from Dune. You just wear a suit that reabsorbs your moisture all day, and then I think it just camelbacks it back into your mouth.
So you never need water.
Right. You
Yeah,
can
that's
live in the
pretty
desert.
You might debunking human necessity.
Yeah, that's kind of what I do with my spare time.
Yeah, you might just
Yeah.
be able to like breatharianism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. You fuck with breatharian? I call it breatharianism. Yeah. Yeah, do you fuck with that, Nate?
I do. I think we should try to get funding on it.
yeah.
You guys should sit down, bring your thing. You could have the Holocaust game on one chapter.
Yeah.
In the middle of the meeting, Sid's wringing out a sweaty shirt into his mouth. This is free, you don't ever have to pay for water.
Yeah. Tim, do you fuck with breatharianism?
Absolutely not. Well, until breatharianism has its own Pop-Tarts,
Yeah.
I'm good.
Fair enough. Do you know like the head of one of the leading guys in it was like a black dude that was just scamming everybody?
What else is new?
What, he was the top of breatharianism?
Yeah. Yeah, and he was
It was also somehow a church.
he churched it. He churched it, and he had like a little following. They had a place where they were all staying. And
Dude, I do got to give it up for black people in tax shelters. They're doing it bigger than anybody else.
Yeah.
No one else is having fun with tax shelters like black people are.
I think so. I think we're definitely wearing them backwards. Do you know what I mean?
You guys are putting a little bit of razzle dazzle
yeah.
in tax shelters.
What
dude.
happened to the breath church, dude?
So he got it was a scandal because he kept so breatharianism, you're supposed to get all of your sustenance from the air that you're breathing from the light.
Yeah.
Right?
Wait, so not
from
eat
sunlight.
at all?
Not eat at all.
Okay, I didn't know what this was. I thought you were saying a whole different thing. But
that's the whole premise behind it, right? It's that we have been lied to about the proper way to gain nutrients for our body, right? Because we are part plant people anyway. If you get into some of the sacred society shit, right? So, and black people do, right? So he got caught sneaking out late at night, going to like 7-Eleven, eating hot dogs and shit.
Yeah, dude, this is the pastor with the fancy car.
Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah.
We need more of these guys. They rule too hard.
I think they're some of the most fun people out there.
It's got to be nuts. Like you have like thousands of people following you, and like you're just chomping a hot dog. Whatever.
And you know that they believe that you just are surviving off air.
Yeah, and you're like
Yeah.
laughing, chomping sodas. and
One
hot
of your
dogs.
main claims is like, guess what? Never eating a hot dog, and it's 11:30 p.m. You're like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they bought that shit about not eating hot dogs.
Yo, did you watch the Mormon thing on Netflix?
What, Be
Probably.
Sweet?
Be
Yeah.
sweet. Did you watch that?
I watched a little bit of it.
Dude, get into
As
the
soon as
end
I
of it.
I
Yeah.
couldn't go on.
Wait,
As soon as I realized that.
before we
Go
jump
ahead.
in this real quick,
Yeah.
so his excuse for getting caught eating hot dogs is that he wasn't eating them for sustenance. He was eating them to experience the pleasure of taste.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. He said, you guys didn't like my child marriage idea, so I had some hot dogs to gratify myself. Let me know if you're ready to talk.
Where did you drop off on the Mormon thing?
As soon
He
as
did,
I-
wait, real quick. He did choose the perfect food for that
Yeah.
statement, though. Like there is no nutrition.
Oh, the hot dog's the most,
In a
it's the most
7-Eleven
sinful
hot
food
dog.
stuff.
Yeah, he had chocolate too. He had some chocolate too.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
Damn.
Wow. He's going to food hell.
just experiencing pleasure, experiencing chocolate
Yeah,
pleasure.
that's what's up.
Yeah.
With the-
You can't stop a black man from experiencing chocolate pleasure. That would be wrong. That's wrong on its face.
Damn.
Yeah. So Tim, where'd you drop out on that Mormon shit?
As soon as I completed a portrait of Mormon people in my head as just basically using their daughters as girlfriend farms.
Oh, dude.
And I said, I'm good on this. I got this. I also quit the Michael Jackson documentaries when they were describing French kissing him. So as soon as I get to a point like that, I go, all right, man, I kind of get it.
I'm done with this. Yeah. But the Mormon dude was doing the same thing. He had like camps of Mormon. He had 2 camps of Mormon people, right? And he was going to camp 1, telling them he built heaven or he found heaven. So he was rolling through and like taking people's kids and stuff and being like, your daughters have been chosen to go to heaven. And they'd be like, fuck yeah. Meanwhile, he just had this fucking other place going on. And like, I don't want to get too into it, but he was being filthy. And at the same
He was
time,
having a good time.
Just a fuck camp.
but dude, it's beyond that. Like,
Like a fuck village?
how hard he went to blow his sick nut is like,
Oh.
like I was watching it with my wife and I was like, to think someone is like, oh, that felt good to blow a load. I think it could feel bad. Like
Wait,
the fucking like,
Could you lay out the schematics without going into too detail?
dude, he basically built like a skyscraper sized temple. Like probably a 30,000 square foot pure white room and then loaded it with kiddos.
God damn.
And they just went in and started moshing
Just
on them.
housing them.
Just sexually moshing on
day.
30,000
Started
kids.
marrying little kids.
Hot little kids of his
Wait,
choosing.
so what was the rest of this? What was the rest of Group B, aka Heaven? What was the rest of
They
these
were
people
working
up
and
to?
sending money to him.
Was he taking any of their kids back to Group A? Like, hey,
Nah, once
Heaven
he
sent a
left-
couple back.
Nope. They came.
So it was a work /fuck camp.
But then he was taking young boys, and he basically built like all of the Home Depots and Amazon centers and Lowe's. He was doing all the construction because he was doing it for next to nothing because he wasn't paying anyone. So he would round up all like the young lads, bring them out to Utah, and they would build like an entire complex.
What a genius.
And then meanwhile, he takes his top 5 wives. He has like 100 of them. And he's like going to
He does
hotels.
TRL every day with his
He's like
wives.
watching porn. He was watching porn in Vegas with them.
Cool.
Taking them to Disneyland.
Fun.
Like eating out, just living the high life.
Yeah.
And then meanwhile, these people were at a camp. And then he had loudspeakers at the camp. So he would record things of being like, praise God, like he will come. And he was just sending tapes back to the camp. And they would send him like $100,000 a week.
Holy
Whoa.
shit.
He was doing it.
Dude, he had like the lowest overhead. Like he had an overhead that he could kind of fuck. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's wild. That's a wild business.
Yeah, overhead
thing.
under bird.
Yeah. And now
Wow.
he's doing like 100 years in prison, but they still listen to him. Like he
Yeah.
sends tapes from prison.
They separate the art from the art.
You should be able.
More people should do
like,
that.
It should be. There should be a scale for going to prison for like, if your idea was like too good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like you
It's
did the worst thing ever, but it was almost the coolest thing ever at the same
so
time.
you can never come out of jail.
Yeah, like you're in jail forever. That
Yeah, that was too fucking
diabolical.
good. Like we can't
plan.
trust that. If you did something even half as cool, we still probably wouldn't catch you when you came out of jail. You know what I mean? It's like we wouldn't even notice.
It was, dude. I was watching with my wife, and I was like, it's insane. You went this hard.
Yeah.
Like getting money feels good, blowing loads feels good, but the level of which you took both is unfathomable. He's like, I know a way I can make money where no one else
yeah,
makes money.
this is the story of Icarus.
yeah,
Yeah.
Dude flew too high.
Which I have a little item to talk about. Or where are we at, Danny? 51. Okay.
Yeah.
So I watched a video. A guy claims he knows who DB Cooper was.
Uh oh.
Who's
Hey,
DB Cooper?
You know who DB Cooper is?
No.
No.
Guy, I think, he robbed a bank. He got on this was in like 1971. A guy, I think he robbed a bank or something like
Oh,
that. And
shout
he gets
out
on
Nate Marshall in the tomb. I'm so sorry. I didn't even say that yet.
Oh, yeah.
Good God. What are we? What is wrong
Dude,
with
it's also so funny for you to just hear a random name and say, I'm saying an unnamed guy knows who this other guy you don't know is. That must be a very confusing statement
what?
for you to receive. For me to go, I watched a guy say he knows who DB Cooper is, and you have no idea what I'm talking about. That must have been a very awful experience conversationally.
No, I was
Or
just still
like-
waiting.
Yeah, you're like excited.
So DB Cooper, the reason that it's significant that someone knows who he is in 1971, he robs a bank and he gets on an airplane with a suitcase full of money and he leaves Portland, Oregon, and jumps out of the plane. And they never
And
find
no
him.
one saw him again,
They
like
never
Point
find
Break.
him. Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
So he point breaks in real life, and this was in 71. And I remember as a kid, people being fascinated with the story of DB Cooper. And it was like they never found out who he was. There was no clue. Like they had like an artist rendition of him, and there was just nothing on him. And to this day, they still, I guess, either they don't know anything or they say they don't know anything. And so I was watching a YouTube video from an MMA fighter named Chael Sonnen, and the title of the video was "I Know Who DB Cooper Was" or something like that. And this guy is known to tell a tall tale.
Oh, he tells them talk.
This guy, but he's also a very compelling storyteller. So this could be true, this could be false. But he claims to have direct knowledge of who he was, and I think have even met him.
You've met DB Cooper.
That's what Chael Sonnen says.
yeah. This MMA fighter.
Chael Sonnen goes,
okay.
I know who DB Cooper is. And so this mystery that I've known about since I was a child, and it's buried in like a 70,000 view YouTube video by a guy that's probably making some of it up.
Wait, so who? According to him, who is he?
According to him. And he says that if you go back, I didn't have time to look. This is the last thing I watched before I left the house today. If you go back and watch or read interviews, like the airline employees who saw him said that the police sketches were way off. The police sketches show, I think, a white guy with a mustache and aviators, possibly.
That's like their go-to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I had an off day. I hit him with this fucking sunglasses guy again.
Dude, like John's on vacation. Just give him the mustache and the aviators.
Yeah.
White dude.
Yeah. So they
So-
say that wasn't even close to what he was, and I think if you asked them, they would have said it was a Native American guy. So here are a couple of the theories. The guy jumps out of the plane. He jumps out of the plane with a parachute. They say he either died in the forest in the Pacific Northwest because it was impossible to survive in. So they write off him hitting the ground. So he either had to be like extracted, like had a ride waiting for him or something, and he had to go to like a foreign country or something like that. They said, but most likely he probably hit the ground and just died within a couple days or something like that.
Yeah.
But not if he was Native American.
Not if he was Native American, exactly. So
Yeah.
the area that they say that he jumped and landed in like backs up to a Native American reservation.
Did he yell Geronimo?
He had to.
I am Geronimo.
Wait, not to cut your story, but why is Geronimo associated with jumping off high things?
I think that was his catchphrase, and he just did awesome shit.
All right.
I think
Wait, Geronimo?
I think Geronimo did righteous shit.
When
and
we were
screamed
kids,
his
we
own
would
name.
jump off really high things and you
Yeah.
had to yell
Geronimo.
Geronimo.
Are we sure Geronimo didn't get thrown off some shit? That sounds more like it. That sounds like all the Native American shit is named. It's like it's not good for them.
Yeah, it's not
You
like
know what I mean?
pleasant.
It's
Yeah,
probably
yeah,
just
true.
like an ancient movie reference that we don't know.
Yeah, like our
Yeah.
parents
that
were
we got
like,
from our
Are
parents.
you guys DB Cooper or Geronimo?
I mean, a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Well, Geronimo was he was a prominent leader and shaman of the Apaches, and people say Geronimo because he was known for his fearlessness in resisting anyone,
fuck yeah.
Mexican or American, who attempted to remove his people from their tribal land.
So he was just the man.
He was the good dude. Yeah, you just
Yes.
give him a shot out.
So it was like yelling Kobe.
The Ninja Turtles made it
The Ninja Turtles made
famous.
it. So it was our generation.
Nice.
Whoa.
Damn. So like if we
So it's on the same level as Cowabunga, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
So-
both coming back.
And how much was in this briefcase? Because this was back in the day.
I
so
forget.
like $10,000.
Yeah, it could have been
Yeah, at 71, you'd run off
Yeah.
with like $8,500.
$500 cash.
$5,800 cash.
He jumped out of an airplane. He was like $5,800. I'm set for life.
Why did he have a suitcase?
In all quarters.
I would have went, I don't know, maybe a school bag at tops, at most.
Yeah.
He like jumped out and then
It's something easier to exact the plan of jumping out of a plane with.
Someone found $5,800. Yeah, I know a lot about this. It was like,
Yeah, that's wild.
he probably just jumped out of a plane, put a little dent in his credit card, and paid his car payment. Went about his life.
Yeah, he made 8 student loan payments. $200,000? Oh, God damn it.
Then he hopped out like $5,800.
So much funnier.
Oh, gotcha.
I clicked the thing. It was like, how much money did he
Yeah.
found?
He like fixed his transmission.
So $1,500 was found scattered,
Yeah, in $20 bills.
Okay.
collected.
Yeah,
All right. So he had 200 grand. That's a lot.
In the jungle.
In 71.
in the Pacific Northwest.
Gotcha.
Yeah, the rainforest, I guess. Anyway, It was a Native American guy, and he actually had a good time in the woods because that's where he fucking partied and did all of his cool shit as a youngster. And apparently he died in Arizona 2 years ago, if we're to believe the word of Chael P. Sonnen.
I believe it.
Shout out.
He's never told a lie.
He almost beat Anderson Silva. I believe anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy, you have to believe him. All right.
Yeah.
So that was my cool thing I wanted to tell you guys about. But I think I had a lot more enthusiasm for DB Cooper as a child than you guys did.
I never heard
That
about
kind of
it.
took the wind out of my. I was like,
I thought
wait
you
a
were going
minute.
to say like it's the guy who invented peanut butter or something.
That, like a dude, an intercom lit up in my brain. It was like, reminder, you've been
trying to take that- you
autistic
can't
your
take that
entire
away from
life.
George Washington
I
Carver.
can't
dude.
think of George Washington Carver. I thought it was going to be something like DB Cooper. You know, I thought it was like a Black History Month.
Yeah, he also did something with the peanut. DB Cooper. He
did.
Like he's who the
Oh, I
Peanut
could go
Man
for a
is
DB
modeled
Cooper
after.
bar right now.
Yeah, like a DB Cooper bar sounds like something I get into, or like an ice cream.
Yeah, I could do without the nougat, but it's still a pretty good bar.
Yeah, let's jump into the Patreon.
I'm up.
Yeah, I'm fine too.